Moxie Country and Prattville Alive invite you to join us now for a preview of this week's Prattville Lions football game. The Coach J.B. Wallace Show is coming to you live from El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobb's Ford Road in Prattville. Tonight's show is powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Pepsi, Prattville Farm Center, Durbin Auto Parts, and by True Pull Trailers. Let's go live to El Patron Mexican Grill for tonight's Coach J.B. Wallace Show, hosted by Chris Britton.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you're tuned in tonight. We're coming to you live from El Patron Mexican Grill right here on Cobb's Ford Road in Prattville, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. So if you're out driving around in Prattville tonight, let me invite you to come be a part of the J.B. Wallace Show. We've got a lot of the Lions Nation here already and expecting more to arrive. Well, of course, I'm joined by the man the show is named after, Coach J.B. Wallace. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm great. How are you doing?
Man, way better than I deserve. Let's jump right in. There's a team of Lions that are scorching hot right now. Started off the season 3-0. Last week made the trip up to Oak Mountain and came away successful. Let's talk about that game.
Yeah, a little rainy night.
Yeah.
That was something that the coaches had to put on notice as we headed down, because that alters the game plan a little bit. But we get there, man, they got a great stadium, might I add.
Yeah.
It was a great atmosphere. Their fans were there, and of course I think our fans once again outnumbered their fans.
How about that?
On the road,
hour and a half away.
Yes, sir. Hour and a half away. Prattville showed up and did what Prattville does.
Yeah.
So, we started this thing off on fire with. I think the second play of the game, we had a deep ball thrown to KJ Blue, to kind of set the tone for the night. Defense came back and answered back. One thing that we found out, we talked about it all week, was their quarterback, how talented he was. And we knew that we had to kind of contain him and corral him in order for us to have an opportunity to, get the victory. And, man, he played hard. I got to give him credit. He played hard. He never quit. I think we did a great job of getting hats to him. We did a great job of just making him uncomfortable is what we wanted to do.
Right.
And that happened.
Impose your will kind of
Yes,
thing.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And that happened defensively, but I'll say that young man never gave up.
Yeah.
Offensively, we had a tremendous night. Offensively, man, and we played well. We were able to get 8 different guys with touches.
How about that?
Be it running the ball or catching, passes. We had 8 different guys with touches. On Friday night, so that was huge. Gavin spreading the ball around, getting everybody involved, and man, he did a great job operating the offense. He had 249 yards of passing offense. He's had 2 touchdowns, and he also had a rushing touchdown where he kind of powered
Just
it in the end zone.
kind of night.
Yeah. He had a great night, man. So very, very proud of him.
Yeah.
We got Tristan going early. He had 26 carries. I think he finished the night with 174 yards rushing. So that was a huge night for him. Now, we challenged him to 133 the week before.
He came up 1 yard short.
Well, he got 174 this week. So
you think it was a little bit of a statement?
Yeah, it was a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you, the O-line, man, they did a great job for him.
It doesn't happen alone, right?
Right. The quarterback's uniform was clean at the end of the night, and they blocked hard for Tristan. So the O-line really, carried the mail for us on Friday night. Did a tremendous job. KJ Blue had 45 yards, I believe, rushing, but he had another 92 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been the guy that we can get him in the backfield and change the game a little bit by letting him get some carries and also putting him out on the island and throwing the ball.
Well, and he commands or demands, whatever you want to call it, so much attention. Mm-hmm. It changes things it makes the defense react to him,
right,
and opens the door for other guys.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Where KJ is, you might want to know where he is because we can get him the ball a lot of different ways, and I think Coach Dickerson does a great job of putting him in the backfield sometimes, and he does not get the ball, because he's great in pass protection too. So just because he's in the backfield doesn't mean he's getting it, but he's been another piece of the puzzle. And some of those tough yards that a lot of people don't talk about a lot of time came from Landon Smith, who's our other running back. Ran the ball extremely hard at the end of the game to kind of close the game out for us a little bit, but he ran it hard, man. I'm proud of him. But he had an extremely productive night. Brody Bowman had another breakout night.
Keeps on.
Yes, sir. He had 2 catches, 82 yards. Had a touchdown. Had a huge night. At the receiver. So I just like seeing him grow, man, and just seeing him develop each week. He's developing. His game is changing each week. Christian Alexander, which is a sophomore for us, he showed up huge. Had a big catch for 42 yards. So, proud to see him get it going. You'll see him get going here a lot more in the next few weeks because, his role has expanded a little bit because of his abilities. The hero that a lot of people don't really speak a lot of, I guess, because he does the dirty work that a lot of people doesn't want to do, is Colin Seegers. Colin Seegers had 2 catches, 20 yards on the night. But he's always the one that's, putting the body on that linebacker or digging the end out anytime we need an end dug out or whatever so we can run the ball and pass pro and all that good stuff. But he does the dirty work that not a lot of people want to do. But, he's a huge part of our offense, for the success that they're having. So I was proud of him. We got Tanner Eamon going, which is our sophomore receiver. He had
big kid.
Yeah, big kid, man. He's a big target. One of his big catches of the night got called back, but he did have a 2-point conversion for us, and then he did catch a ball for 9-10 yards. So that was a great night for him. So overall, offensively, we had a huge night, man. A lot of productivity going on there.
And you just kind of rattle them off individually, and you said to begin with, how many different guys touched the ball?
8 guys.
That's
8 different
impressive.
guys touched the ball. Yeah, 8 different guys touched the ball.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that makes the next defensive or the opposing defensive coordinators for the rest of the year lose sleep.
Right. Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal.
To stop.
Right. And we have some guys that we put the ball in their hands. They'll do some things with it. So I'm excited about that. Defensively, Sam Cook. He led defense again in tackles. 17 tackles again.
I said it last week. I haven't gotten any pushback on it yet. I'm not saying he's better, but that's Eric Benson type numbers, right?
Very
so Eric,
similar.
if you heard that, call me.
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. But, man, he's been a leader defensively. His off season, he started off, he had a little procedures done on both of his shoulders his off season. So to battle back from that, that just says a lot about his character.
Well, that might explain something. He's been playing like he's mad at somebody,
Yeah.
so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
He's
been playing good. Been very impressed with his performance. Also, Tim Rollinson had a good night with 9 tackles. Tim has been a guy. He's kind of played a lot of different roles for us defensively over the last couple of years, and he's kind of settled in playing our hybrid linebacker, DB, and what we call a nickel position. He 9 tackles Friday night, flying around all over the field. I think his best days are ahead, man. He's going to definitely continue to improve throughout the year. Jake McConnell, who really hit the scene last year for us. Started off as a linebacker for us last year. Midway through the season, we had some depth problems up front, and we moved him to D-line, and he hadn't looked back. He had 9 tackles. I think he had a couple of sacks as well, but played extremely well. He's just a junior, so his best days are ahead of him as well.
Offense and defense, at least half the guys you mentioned so far tonight are underclassmen.
Right. We got a lot of
exciting.
underclassmen getting involved. Chris Clary, playing safety for us, had 10 tackles, 10 total tackles for us. It was one of those physical nights, too, where they were going to run the ball, and that quarterback, they ran the ball with him a lot. So, it was a physical ball game, which is about like the rest of our schedule. They're going to be physical ball games. And, with us playing the region that we came from, I think we're equipped to play that kind of football.
I was looking at a stat the other day, earlier this week. They had, and who cares about rankings? Rankings don't matter.
Right.
But it listed the top 20 teams in the state, regardless of class. And between the region we came from and the region we're in now, I want to say it was like 7 or 8 of the top 15 teams were from those 2 regions.
Yeah.
No, regardless of class. Travel included, by the way.
Right.
So, that just tells you there's competition last year, traditionally, and this year that you're in the mix with.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I know since I've been at Prattville, I know that the state champion has come from either the region that we came from or the region that we're in now every year. So that tells you the competitiveness of those 2 regions that we're accustomed to playing and that we're playing in now. It's super talented. This dude's on the field every night that's going to be playing on Saturday next year. And some of them going to be playing SEC, ACC type of football, each week. So every week we see that kind of challenge. But defensively, man, I was proud of the D-line. The D-line got after it real well. That's where the play starts for us, defensive. It starts up front. We want to dominate the line of scrimmage. And we had a lot of guys getting involved on our D-line. We talked about Jake McConnell, but you got Callahan Minor, who's been bringing it all year, who's been an extremely good player. You got Elijah Brown. You got Josh Williams, who comes in and plays some end for us and some interior D-line for us. So he's been a huge part of it. We just got a lot of guys that's been getting involved with us. So I think we'll play anywhere from 7 to 8, maybe even 9 D linemen on a Friday night. So we can kind of dig in there
off of a 4-man front.
Off of a 4-man front, we get a lot of guys involved.
That's fantastic. Well, Coach, we're going to revisit the game. We're going to pause here in just a minute for a break, but we got more to talk about, exciting stuff last week. Fans, there's a whole lot more show to come, so if you're driving around in Prattville, we'd invite you to come see us right here at El Patron Mexican Grill on Cobbs Ford Road. Thanks to those of you listening to us on the radio, those of you watching on the Prattville Live Network. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break. Hey guys, it's Chris Britton, host of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so excited to be coming to you live each week from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patron Mexican Grill, at 2152 Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett's Chevrolet. They got a huge menu with all of your favorite authentic Mexican dishes. My kids love it. In fact, they get a free drink with their kids' meal, so that's an awesome perk. If you go on a Sunday after church, bring your bulletin with you, you get a 10% discount. My personal favorite is the chicken chimichanga. It's fantastic. El Patron Mexican Grill in Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the river region has depended on Arrow Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Arrow Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Arrow, your best shot for pest control.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Welcome back, Prattville Lions Nation. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Chris Britton, and we're so glad to have you this evening. Well, Coach, when we left for the break, we were talking about the defense last week up at Oak Mountain. By the way, I didn't give the final. We knew it was a win, but it was 35-28 was the final. You were kind of, as we left that segment, talking about the D-line. Talk a little bit more about the defense for last week.
Yeah, linebacker-wise, we talked about Sam Cook, how he had another big night with 17 total tackles. But from that linebacking core, we still had Trey Rollinson, who's been playing extremely well. He's been one of our emotional leaders on defense, man. That's ready every game. He's a playmaker, a dynamic playmaker. But he had a good, solid night. I think he had 9 tackles as well. Jontavius Caldwell, who's a 10th grader, who's really stepped up for us, and he's been extremely productive for us on special teams. But he's also playing some linebacker, a very physical style of player. He played extremely well for us. And secondary, once again, by committee. We've been getting it done on the back end by committee. Tons of corners. I think we got 4 or 5 different corners that are touching the field, and they're all competing, and they're all getting after it. And then we talked about Chris Clare with 10 tackles, and DJ Walton, which is a guy that doesn't say he don't do a lot of talking, but man, he is a very talented player, and he finds ways to get involved and make stuff happen. So I'm definitely excited about the growth of that group. When we start digging into the 3 phases of the game, we got special teams. And Paxton Janola had another good night kicking the ball for us. Man, he's been placing the ball extremely well on our kickoff team, and I'm going to brag on the kickoff team. Coach Brown, Lil Eddie Brown, he coaches he's over my kickoff team. And man, they've had a very, very productive season. Not really holding my breath, when we're kicking the ball off. I mean, they're closing on the ball. He's got guys that are sprinting and hitting, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for sprinters and hitters on that team. And he's got guys that are getting down the field. They're squeezing their lanes. He's got a very good scheme that we've evolved on our kickoff team, and they're getting it done. The importance of special teams, as we see, we had a little difficult time handling the ball on kickoff return. And it almost cost us, some huge opportunities. So we honed in on that this week to get better at that aspect on kickoff return. But like I mentioned before, Paxton has been great for us, man, on our punt team, flipping the field when we need him to flip the field, and also placing the ball when we need to place it on kickoff.
Yeah, and I love that because, sometimes breakdowns happen, things happen. You won the game, let's work on it, clean it up for next week. Now go do it better.
That's right. That's right. And that's what it's all about, making those corrections. And those guys come in on Saturday morning, and they get a recovery workout Saturday morning, and then we go and we watch special teams as a team. And we fix a lot of those corrections Saturday morning, as far as pointing those out. And then the coaches develop a plan and how we're going to rep it for the week, and we try to get better at it. So we put that game behind us Saturday morning.
Yeah. Now, something you mentioned, the special teams coach, you said little Eddie Brown. Now, I'm guessing that Big Eddie could be watching the show tonight. There's a special day coming up. You got anything you want to say?
Yeah, he's got a birthday coming up on Monday.
Okay.
And can you guess how I know? Because he's told everybody. He's told everybody he's got a birthday coming on Monday. So.
Well, that sounds about like him.
Yeah, that sounds about like him. But he did give Coach Dickerson a little credit because they share the same birthday.
Yeah.
He gave him a little credit. Yeah. Not much.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I know you've been very generous and offered to buy him breakfast and done some other things for him for his birthday. So.
Thanks for putting that out there too. Thanks for putting that out there.
How you doing? All right. Well, let's shift gears just a little bit. We got another fellow that snuck on the show with us tonight. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
Man, tonight on the coach's show, we have our head baseball coach, Coach J.R. Myers, here with us. You talking about a guy that's very knowledgeable in the game. He coaches with a lot of energy, a lot of passion.
Yeah.
I get to see him daily as the baseball team is preparing for off-season in the weight room and things like that. And he'll see me walk in sometime, but I'm actually just astonished because they work hard. His team has worked hard, and he's been able to get those guys working at a high level. He's been coaching for a while. I've actually been lucky enough. He coached football for us years ago, so he's a good football coach too. So I will not say if he's been taught to about doing a little football.
He can confirm or deny that himself.
Yeah, he can confirm or deny that. But a very talented secondary coach for us a few years ago. So but I'm glad to have him on the show tonight.
Yeah, Coach, how you doing?
Sir, good to see you.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right, now we got a year under your belt coaching baseball practice.
Almost a year. It'll be a year in November.
A season. How about that?
Yes, that's right.
So, but now you're not new to Prattville, though.
No, sir.
How do you know Prattville originally?
I'm from here. I'm born and raised. Been here almost my entire life.
Yeah.
Taught here at one point and then left for a few years and came back. So I think that's just God saying, hey, you need to come back home.
Yeah. Well, run down that coaching history a little bit. Where all you been?
Yeah, well, pretty much just here in Florence. So I started here in 2010, coached here for about 4 years. Coached football and baseball, and then an opportunity came up, and I took the job, assistant football and baseball job at Florence. So I was there for about 8 years.
Okay.
I think going into my 4th year up there, I became the head coach. So I was head coach for 4 years, and then I decided to come back home. So I'm happy to be back home.
Well, welcome home.
Yes, sir.
Glad to be back. Tell us a little about last season. How'd that go for you?
Yeah, so that was a unique year. Coming in November, I don't wish that on anybody, because you didn't have a summer to prepare.
Right.
You come in November, you're trying to get to know the guys are trying to get to know you. So it kind of felt rushed.
And you're about ready to, February you got stuff.
Yeah, well, really January.
Yeah.
January, you're really rocking and rolling. You're starting your long toss program in January. So that was a situation that, man, it's very tough on any coach coming in November. But we came in and, once you start scheduling games and once you start playing, then obviously everything else just kind of takes over.
Sure.
But, that was tough. Like I say, usually you have at least a summer to prepare with your team.
That wasn't the luxury you had.
No, that wasn't. So I came in November. We threw a little bit of hitting, but once January came, we were pretty much rocking and rolling. So that was tough. That was a challenge. But like I said, once that first game started, then you just kind of let the guys just take over from there. So.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your coaching staff. I know you got some young guys, got a couple of legend guys out there with you.
We do. Of course, Coach Lambert, the ball field's named after Coach Lambert. So he's been helping with our JV along with Coach Minor. Yeah. And, they got their names on all the buildings in Prattville. They know any and everybody. So they've done a really good job over the last few years. And I've kind of considered Coach Lambert my mentor. Yeah. Obviously I played for him as a player, and then I coached with him my first couple of years at Prattville. So I've had those two guys, him and Coach Minor. Then I got Coach Price, who's from here. He left, and now I was able to get him back. He's done a really good job in our weight room. Weight room, and Coach Wallace kind of touched on that. It's a very important piece of what we're trying to do here. You got to build your weight room. You know, you got to have some strong guys because, you know, you're going to be playing for 5 months. And so you got to be able to withstand a long, grueling season. So Coach Price took over, done a great job in the weight room. Coach Hicks is over running our pitching program right now.
Been with the program for a while.
Yeah, so he was here. I think he took maybe a year off, so we were able to bring him back. And then Coach Brown, Jason Brown, who's been in the program as well. So he's always done a good job. He's kind of that energy
great
booster.
coaches, but everybody you named, good guys.
Yes, sir. They're great guys. The players love them. And, you know, it's all about building relationships. So we feel like with every coach that we have in this program that we can build relationships with our players. And so that's the biggest thing. You build relationship, everything else will take care of itself.
So, you know, didn't get it last year, but got an off season this year. How's that been?
That's been great. And, you know, big shout out to our senior class. Our senior class this year, they've done a great job this off season. We had our exit meetings.
Hear them over there.
They're over there stuffing their face.
Right.
But you know, we had our exit meetings in May, and I talked to all the seniors, and you know, I loved that senior class last year, but I didn't really get a chance to kind of build that relationship with them. But in May, I pretty much sat down all the seniors and said, hey, I need you guys to lead. And so they've pretty much said, Coach, we got you. And that's really made our job as coaches so much easier when you got seniors that can help lead this program. And, you know, they take ownership. When things doesn't get done, hey, Coach, we're going to take care of that. You know, if we're not wearing the right colored shirts, hey, Coach, we got it. We're going to up down. So they've really helped us out in that capacity.
That's awesome.
So leadership is very important. So big shout out to our senior class. But, you know, we got some guys coming back. You know, we pretty much returned all our outfielders. We got some, you know, we lost some arms last year in Zach Irby and Andrew Hicks. But we also got some guys coming up that can really be a huge asset to our program this year.
So I know with football, I know with baseball, it's the same. The program doesn't just happen for free. You know, funds have to be raised. How is there a way people can get involved and help? I mean, what's the outlet for that?
So I think the biggest way to really reach to donate money or whatever to the program is to really check social media. You know, we've done a pretty good job over the last few weeks of really trying to reach out. Fundraising is important, and you know, I know Coach Wallace can touch on that. You know, it's always tough to kind of get teenagers to go out and ask for money. But in order for us to get things done around the facility, we got to try to get the funds. And we're on the right track with that. You know, we actually had some upgrades done to our infield. But like I said, you check social media. Feel free to reach out to me or any of our coaches or players about what you can do to donate to our program. But, you know, we had a couple of fundraisers coming up. November 3rd, we're having our first annual fishing tournament.
I saw something online.
So we're kind of excited about that. We don't know how it's going to go. But I feel pretty good about it. You know, we're trying to get some more sponsors, but I think as far as turnout, I think we'll have a good number of people come out and support that fishing tournament. So we're excited about that. And again, we'll have our fall festival coming up, I think in October around that time. But anytime you want to reach out, donate, contribute to our program, please reach out to me or any of our baseball players or contact the school. We'll be more than happy to help.
All right. I'm going to try to, I don't want to say create controversy, but I'm curious. If there was a home run derby between Coach Myers,
go
ahead.
Yeah, I'll win it. You ain't even got to finish.
He would win it on the softball field. But on the big boy field where it's like 400 dead center, it's going to be me. He may look like Ken Griffey, but he don't hit like Ken Griffey.
This could be a fundraiser developing.
It could. Here, you know? I'm all for it. But like I said, you're wasting your time watching him hit. I've seen him hit. He can't hit.
Well, I'll say this. I've been challenged a couple times in home run derbies, and I've always answered. So if I'm ever allowed to come on a baseball field, I wouldn't mind, you know, coming out there and giving the band field a little attention.
During the softball hit-a-thon last year, he hit one. I don't think it's come down yet.
It ain't.
It came down. Like I said, on the softball field, I'll let him have that. But on the big boy field, we'll have to put like a temporary fence out. He can't handle that big field. He can't handle that. But A for effort. How about that? A for effort.
30 seconds. Is there anything else you want to say about the program, anything for the community? The floor is yours.
No, well, the biggest thing, you know, we're here for Coach Wallace and this program. You know, really, we're on stage for what he's done. He's done a great job with this program. So big shout out to his coaches, his players. You know, we want them, hey, we're going to be there. You know, our baseball players are always there in the student section. So just a big shout out to what they're doing. They're doing some great things this year.
You know, and that reminds me, one of the beautiful things, and this is about Prattville. It's not Prattville football. It's not Prattville baseball, basketball. It's one Prattville, right? And what I love, I do some announcing work for the softball team, and I love on nights when the baseball team doesn't play, usually there's trucks parked out in left field, and they're back there just being rowdy as can be, your guys, you know. And I love that. That's special. All right, well, fans, we thank you so much for tuning in. Coach, thank you for stopping by the show, by the way.
Thank you.
We're glad that you're listening to Coach J.B. Wallace Show. Those of you listening to us on Dixie Country 100.1, thanks for being a part of the show. Also, those of you watching us on Prattville Live on Facebook, we're so glad that you're here with us, too. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Well, good evening, Lions Nation. Welcome back to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I'm so glad you tuned in tonight. My name is Chris Britton. I'm your host for the show. We're coming to you live from El Patron Restaurant right here in Prattville. So if you're moving about in town, we'd love for you to come visit. We got lots of the Lion Nation here already, but there's room for you too. Well, Coach, we're at our kind of our awards segment of the show tonight. We got the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week. Won't you tell us a little bit about the young man that award is being presented to tonight?
Well, he's our signal caller for us. He's our quarterback, man, and he's having a great year so far. Man, he's done a great job leading our team, leading our program. I've seen him grow over the offseason, and this is the thing. He's a dual sport athlete, so he's able to, when football season is over, he's able to do what he needs to do with baseball and still stay connected with football. On the little things that we're doing to work on to perfect his craft. And man, I just enjoy watching him play. He plays with an edge. Doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of noise, but he makes enough to make sure he operates the offense and he's aligned when he's between those lines. So,
that's right.
So I'm excited to announce that Gavin Rigdon is our Pepsi Buffalo
Congratulations,
Player of the
buddy.
Week.
There you go. So walk us through last week's game. Now, here's the thing. You kind of made a habit of having great games on all three of the first three games, but this week was your week to be the Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about last week's game.
Well, it's always good when you see the stats after the game and you see that the O-line didn't give up any sacks. Only
That's
got hit one
night
time.
for you, right?
Yes, sir. The receivers really showed out. Eight different people touched the ball. So that's good to have multiple weapons, and I can rely on all those people to go up and make big plays for me. Even when I'm not necessarily making the best throws or anything, they always bail me out. Yes,
Sure.
Sir.
Was it, like Coach was talking earlier about the great number of fans that made it up to the game, what does it mean to you when you look over on the sidelines and sometimes there's more visiting fans, Prattville fans, than there are for the home team when you're away?
Yes, sir. It means a lot when I look up there and I hear everybody up there cheering us on. Got all my friends out there that don't play football just come out and spend their Friday night supporting us.
I got you. That's awesome. All right, personal question here. If you were afraid of one of your parents running on the field and punching a ref, mom or dad?
Mom.
I was just picking on your mama there. I know she saw that. She probably will comment here in a minute.
Yes,
That's
sir.
fun stuff. So senior year, second year starting, what's it been like? I've been watching you since the 7th grade, so I've seen you come all the way up through. Talk about the progression through the junior high all the way up.
Well, it's been really good getting to look up to some of the great quarterbacks like E.J. Owsley, Kyle Kramer, getting to watch them to see what it takes.
Legend Lions right there.
Yes, sir, to see what it really takes to be a quarterback at this level of football. Yes, sir.
Well, and I'm sure those guys, All right, we're going to pause just a moment for a station identification.
WDXX, Selma Prattville, home of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, where the customers do the talking.
Dixie Country.
Welcome back, fans. All right, so you mentioned something really interesting to me a minute ago, talking about EJ and Kyle and the impact they made or the influence they had on you and your playing career and your life. Is that something you take as a leader, trying to turn around and invest in some of those? You're not the only quarterback on the team. Do you see that as an opportunity to invest in the guys behind you?
Yes, sir. I always try to lead as an example.
Sure.
So they can look up to me, so they know what to do when they get on the field.
I got you. All right. Well, that's enough about football. The fans want to know. The ladies particularly want to know: do they have a chance to date the quarterback, or is the quarterback taken?
I'm taken.
He's taken, ladies. I'm sorry. It's official. No dice. All right. Favorite movie?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. That's a good one. Now I'm going to narrow it down to favorite sports movie. Got to think about that one. Coach, how about you? While he's thinking, favorite sports movie? I'm going Hoosiers. That's my all-time favorite sports movie.
I would go.
I'm a basketball guy, though.
I've never seen that one, so I can't quite go.
It's old. It's about basketball.
I'm a 1990s kind of guy.
Yeah.
I used to watch the program and all that.
The program was a great one. Yeah. Okay.
I actually introduced my wife to one of those movies. I can't think of the name of it, but it was a movie about a college team. They had the green on, Armadillos. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So I introduced her to that early in the summer.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Probably The Blind Side.
Blind Side. That's a good one. Okay. So when you're riding to the stadium, riding around the car, whatever, what's playing? What were you listening to?
I listen to Chief Keef a lot.
Okay. Got a chuckle out of your fans over here. I'm gonna tell you what. All right, I'm gonna throw one out there because I know him. Who's the proudest grandfather? Now talk about Mr. Ronnie. I mean, I don't think there's a prouder man in the stands when you play.
There's not. He's always texting me about the games.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yes, sir.
That's cool. Well, all right. Coach, what else we need to know about Gavin?
Man, he's exactly what you see. He's very humble. He's a hard worker. And he took this off season personal, man. He's worked his tail off this off season, and he's reaping the rewards from it now.
Yeah.
He's a great leader, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of what he's become, and he just keeps working. He's going to have a successful football year, and he's going to do well baseball as well. So he'll have me rooting for him. I give him a hard time every day.
I'm going to too, real quick. He just said the offensive line. Anybody who gets here before the show's over, he'll buy you dinner. Okay. So if you're listening. No, I'm kidding. He didn't really say that. I made that up. Gavin, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Congratulations. Have a great rest of the season,
yes,
okay?
Sir.
I want to see you win this at least one more time this year.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Coach, now that's not the only award for the week. There's several awards. Why don't you walk us through that?
All right. We give a offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week, and a special teams player of the week, and that's sponsored by Gillespie Tires. Mm-hmm. And our offensive player of the week is someone Gavin spoke about a minute ago. Our whole offensive line got the offensive player of the week.
Yeah.
So that was all five of them. Those guys: Kendon Brown, Warren Moore, Brian Moody, Zane Viscom, and Gabe Gibbons. Those are our starting five, and they got the offensive player of the week, and they earned it.
Yeah.
Kept him, like I said, kept his uniform clean.
That's no small thing. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
And we had 176 yards rushing, 74 yards rushing by Tristan. That's all offensive line. And their names don't get in the paper a lot, but man, it takes a whole lot of work and working as a unit and working as a team to get that done. And they did that last week, so we got to continue that on every week. Our defensive player of the week is none other than Sam Cook with the 17 total tackles. So, you know, he's been all over the place this year, so proud of that. Our special teams player of the week went to the other Gavin, which is a whole other conversation, but we have a Gavin Underwood. Gavin Underwood is our special teams player of the week, and he has emerged every week. Man, he's making big time plays. I'm talking about big hits on special teams, on kickoffs, and he's arrived on defense, and he's making plays. He's a guy that we can lean on and count on. So I love to see his development, man, where he's come from, where he is now. He plays with excitement. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. But he's our Gillespie Tire special teams player of the week.
Well, and he's kind of one of those kids, you know, you could tell him, hey, I want you to run through that wall, Gavin. He'll kind of give a grin and be like, okay.
And it's done. You can consider it done. He's aggressive.
Now, I did get a message from a fan asking who was better looking, him or his dad. It was actually his dad that asked that, and I think he implied that it was him. Yeah, Chad did say that, so there's that.
We have money team players of the week. Our money team offensive player of the week is a freshman, Aiden Bradley. You know, we tasked him to be one of the better receivers that we were going to see last week, and he did just that. He was a problem all week long.
And what year is he?
He's a freshman.
Okay.
He's a freshman. He's getting some varsity time. We kind of pulled him up so he can get acclimated to the speed of the game. And we kind of pick a handful of guys to do that each year, and it pays dividends because, you know, you have guys like Darryl Washington and other sophomores that are playing now. And Darryl did the same thing last year.
It's a big deal.
You know, so it's working out. So our money team defensive player of the week is Caleb Mitchell. And Caleb Mitchell, he's a guy that's gotten some time in early this year, and I think in the Pike Road game, he's a sophomore for us, but he's a name to listen for. He's very talented. I hear his name all the time in the meeting rooms. You know, he's got some game to him, so he was our money team defensive player. He plays defensive line for us. And you will hear in the next week or so, we'll have our Student of the Week award. And I'm going to brag on our academic team. We have 3 academic coaches. We have Coach Garden. I call her Coach Garden, but Miss Garden, she's a coach too. We have Miss Harper, and we have Miss Scott. Miss Scott is one of our counselors. And they all work hand in hand and tracking our kids' academic success and making sure our kids are on track doing what they're supposed to as far as the grades they need to maintain in the classroom. We have a study hall academic program that we're involved in. And we stay on top of the academics. It's important to me. It's important to our program, you know, and that's something that we build on, academics. But we will have a Student of the Week, and it's not necessarily the young man with the highest GPA. It could be the young man that works the hardest or one that's a leader in the classroom. And I've stepped in a couple of classrooms, and I'm telling you, it makes me feel good when I'm listening to the teacher, you know, teaching to the class, and I hear the football players are answering the questions and things like that. I mean, that means a lot to me.
Well, and I love that you bring that up and present that because, we talk about the guys on the field. That's what we talk about predominantly here on Thursday nights. But it's got to happen in the classroom too. If anything, I would say that's a bigger deal.
That's mandatory. It's mandatory in the classroom because, you know, one of the things that I take pride in is when our guys play for us and they're seniors, grades are not going to be an issue, be it you want to play college football or you want to go to college and just be a regular student or be a policeman, fireman, go in the workforce, whatever it is. You're going to graduate. You're going to be, you know, responsible. You're going to be a great young man, you know. And that's what we demand from our football players, and that's what they become. And so I'm proud of that most.
Now, real brief, we're going to go to break in just a second. I know there's sponsors for a lot of those awards. Who all are some of the sponsors that help you out with that?
Well, we talked about Gillespie Tires.
They're
a sponsor for our offensive player, defensive player, special teams. We also have a Buffalo Wild Wings sponsorship for our money team, offense, money team, defense. They're a sponsor for that, and they will also sponsor our Student of the Week.
That's good stuff.
Yes, sir.
So thank you to the community and those of you who pitch in and sponsor that stuff. Come behind the program and help out. That's awesome.
Well, I tell you, speaking of sponsors, I also want to talk about our gold sponsors if we have time. We have time. We want to talk about our sponsors that, you know, supply a lot of things for our program as far as transportation, equipment. There's a lot that goes into running this, you know, program. You know, I want to thank Stivers for always being there for us and you know, sponsoring us, and you know, our trailers pull with the truck from Stivers. And you know, so we're proud of that, and I appreciate that. TNT Fireworks has stepped in and they've become a gold sponsor for us. Guthrie's is always there to support our program at our school, so I want to thank Guthrie's for that, and Durbin Auto Parts. Those are our main sponsors, our gold and silver sponsors for our program.
Thank you to those groups for coming behind the lines and supporting. Well, fans, we're so glad that you're listening tonight to the show. There's still plenty more show to come, so if you're driving around in Prattville, we'd love to visit, or love to have you come visit with us here at El Patron Mexican Grill, right here on Cobb Ford Road, across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Come on down. Those of you listening on the radio, watching on Facebook, thanks for being a part of the show as well. You are listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Hey guys, it's Chris Britton, host of the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We're so excited to be coming to you live each week from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Patron Mexican Grill, at 2152 Cobbs Ford Road, right across the street from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. They got a huge menu with all of your favorite authentic Mexican dishes. My kids love it. In fact, they get a free drink with their kids' meal, so that's an awesome perk. If you go on a Sunday after church, bring your bulletin with you, you get a 10% discount. My personal favorite is the chicken chimichanga. It's fantastic. El Patron Mexican Grill in Prattville.
For well over 50 years, the river region has depended on Arrow Pest Control, which has grown to be one of the largest and most respected pest control science leaders in the area. Pest control is a science that eliminates pests that invade and potentially damage your property. They use only the top-rated pest control products, including the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. Arrow Pest Control was built on customer service and satisfaction, and that's still #1 today. Call us, 334-365-4610, and find out about mosquito control. Arrow, your best shot for pest control.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers, and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and...
Welcome back, Lions Nation. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. I am your host, Chris Britton. We're so glad that you've tuned in tonight. Well, Coach, it's neat. Every week we get to meet a little bit more of your staff and some of your guys that are helping make it happen on the field, or coaching the guys up to get them ready to make it happen on the field on Friday. Tell us a little bit about the guy that's joining us this week.
Yeah, tonight we'll have our defensive line coach and co-coordinator, Coach Marlon Bush. Coach Marlon Bush, he came from the Birmingham area before he got here, and he'll talk more about it, where he's been and all that, man. But one thing that I've noticed about him, and I kind of, when I was looking for another coach, I tried to find the best coach that can get us defensively where we need to be, because I knew we needed to be strong up front. And man, when I'm talking about a plethora of guys, I don't even know if he knows this. I had a plethora of guys calling me because I asked, and they was like, Coach, if you can get that guy, get that guy.
How about that?
He's the guy.
Yeah.
And everybody, from that area, man, everybody I talked to, is plenty, maybe 6-7 coaches bragged on him. And I got to see it firsthand, man. He's a student of the game. He understands it, man. He's got a wealth of knowledge up front. He understands D-line play. He understands O-line play. So, he's been very valuable to our program. Having him and Coach Bullen together has been a blessing, and it's really taken our defense to the next level. But Coach Bush, he's our guest tonight.
Yeah, Coach, thanks for being here. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Prattville, by the way.
Thank you.
So, introduce yourself to the Lion Nation a little bit. Tell us about you.
All right. Coach Marlon Bush. I'm coming from the Birmingham area. I've actually been in Birmingham maybe past 25 years. Wow. I actually went to UAB.
Okay.
Had a little short stint in the NFL with the Titans. I ended up getting released and just kind of made Birmingham my home. Yep. So I started my coaching career at Ramsey High School in 2012. I coached there for 6 years. We was able to win a state championship, and I ended up going to Hoover for 2 years. I ended up going for Huffman for the next 3 years, and last year I coached at Pinson Valley High School.
Okay. And then now with the Prattville Lions. So we're so glad to have you. So said you played at UAB.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who'd you play for there?
I played under Watson Brown.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Watson Brown.
Vanderbilt.
Yes,
back
sir.
in the day, didn't he?
Yes.
I thought
yes.
So.
Played quarterback. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see, high school wise, you say you're from Birmingham?
No, I went to high school at East Limestone High School. I actually finished at East Limestone. I moved around a lot as a kid. My people are originally from Louisiana, but I moved from Florida to Texas, back to Alabama. So I actually finished at East Limestone High School at Athens.
Awesome. All right. Well, tell us a little bit about what it's been like working with the defensive line here at Prattville, and also as co-coordinator of the defense in general.
First and foremost, it's been a blessing to get here. Me and my wife decided probably in April that we were going to move down here to help out with my mom. Yeah. And it's like the day we made that decision, the next day I heard Prattville needed a defensive coach. And I talked to Coach Wallace that afternoon. Friday we met, and I mean it's just rolled just like that. And by late April I was here. So it's been a blessing. We have a good group. I have a great group. A good balance of older guys and younger guys, and it's been a blessing to coach.
Oh, and how many guys are you getting through? I mean, Coach talks about it. I mean, on the D line alone, how many guys are up there for you on a given night?
We play about 8 right now. We play about 8 kids right now, and that's like awesome. I said, and that's between we have 3 seniors we play, we have 2 juniors we play, and we have a lot of sophomores. Yeah. So it's been a blessing.
That's exciting stuff. How's that work as co-coordinator with you and Coach Bullen? Is it one front half of the defense, back half, a little just mix?
Well, I try to help out with the run game more than anything. Okay. I let those secondary guys handle that secondary, but the front 7 is pretty much my expertise, or what I want to be an expert at. So I help out there more than anything.
So how's Prattville been for you? The city?
Awesome. Yeah. My wife is originally from Otagoville, so we've been coming back and forth down here. Like
so
I
you're
said,
no stranger to the community.
No. For the past 25 years, we've been coming back and forth. So I mean, it's just been an awesome experience.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, what else do we need to know about this guy?
Just exactly what I said, man. I mean, he's a great guy. Not only is he a great coach, he's a great man. And I try to build a program around men like this, and men that can help guide these young kids that we're around to be good men as well. And we got one in the coach, and I'm glad he's part of the family. Yeah. He shows up every day and he goes hard. Like I say, he brings the knowledge of the game, and he can take his knowledge and give it to those boys, and not only that, just teach it. Like being able to teach it and can get the different personalities that we have, and it's been grateful having them here.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much for being a part of the show
tonight.
Appreciate Thanks for doing what you do. Good luck. Go Lions tomorrow night.
Go Lions. That's right.
That's right. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about this is no ordinary week. It's homecoming week. Right. So tell us a little bit about some of the extra stuff that's going on.
Well, we had the homecoming parade on Tuesday. Yeah. And that was a great experience, man. Just be able to go and have our football team involved in it with the band and the cheerleaders and everything else.
And homecoming court.
Man, and the community came out, man. There was so many people there, and the kids are there, smiling faces, been able to toss them a little candy here and there. Yeah. Man, it was great. But, we talked to our kids all week about staying focused, through homecoming, because homecoming is a big event for the community. Yeah. But however, homecoming is a whole lot more fun when you win on Friday.
That's right.
So we definitely want to get that win.
It's still about a game.
It's still about a game. And I think our boys have done a great job just focusing on that and being able to straddle the fence and get involved in the community, as well as focusing on football and all that kind of stuff, and becoming a better player, and we becoming a better team. We have a pep rally tomorrow. Yeah. I heard we got a DJ there that's going to light that thing up. So I can't wait to hear that.
That's my goal.
Yeah. So maybe we can get that student section fired up a little bit at the pep rally, so they can show up like they always do on tomorrow night.
Early they're there early. They're there. Every time. There. That's a lot of fun. All right, well, fans, I think, Stacy, we going to break? Okay, yeah. All right, so fans, thank you for tuning in tonight. Those of you listening on Dixie Country 100.1, thanks for being a part of the show. Also, those of you watching us on the on the Prattville Live page on Facebook, thanks for being a part of the show. You're listening to the Coach J.B. Wallace Show. We'll be right back after this break.
Durbin Auto Parts on South Memorial Drive is proud to be a supporter of Prattville Lions Athletics. As your locally owned CarQuest dealer, the Durbin family assures you that they'll get the right parts the first time. They also carry the full line of steel power equipment and die-hard batteries. When you do business with Durbin Auto Parts, your money stays in Prattville so they can support the local community and great programs like Prattville Lions Athletics. Durbin Auto Parts, 948 South Memorial Drive, Prattville.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
It's the Make This the Summer event at Stivers and no payments until November. New Ram 2500s, $20,000 off. Or new Ram 1500 Bighorns, get $13,000 off. Only at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Only Stivers has 0% APR financing for up to 36 months during the Make This the Summer event. Upgrade to Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, or Compass with no interest financing for 3 years for a limited time at
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Well, welcome back, Lions Nation. Thanks for tuning in to the Coach JB Wallace Show. I'm your host, Chris Britton, and we're so glad that you've chosen to give us a little bit of your time and join us for the show tonight. Well, Coach, it's, Prattville football, well, I guess all 7A football, most high school football, it doesn't just start in the 9th grade. Mm-hmm. There's programs that exist before that come up. We've got a fella that's joining us for this next segment that's one of those coaches in the speeder program, if you would. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
Well, I met him my first year coaching. He and I were on the same staff. He was the head coach on the 9th grade team. Yep. And I was on the defensive staff there, and I kind of got a chance to meet him there. It didn't take me long to realize he likes to score points.
Yeah.
I mean, he will score
the
points.
Old ball coach.
And we won't get into it tonight because we start talking about that Hoover game that year. It can get very interesting, so we won't talk about that tonight. We had to bring him back on another day to talk about that game because I like it when he tells the story.
We ran a play on the two-point conversion. The two-point conversion play. We ran a play that we had not run since like the beginning of the summer, and we threw it out because we didn't like it. And they were like, "Coach, it's there. Can we run it?" And I'm like, "That's just my job. Y'all go ahead." Yeah, right. So, worked out great though. We beat Hoover that night, and it was quite a ball game.
And if I'm not mistaken, it might have been 28-0 at the half, right? We were down.
I think we were.
We were down 28-0.
Could not find an answer.
Well, that's just great coaching. That's all I know.
Well, we had Coach. Coach Burnett, I won't call him what I call him, but it didn't take me long to realize that he understands football and he knows how to get kids to play for him. And so him being over our athletic program down there at the junior high, I know our boys are in good hands, and I know when we get them in the 9th grade, they understand football because they played for him. So it's an easy transition.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, how's this season going? We got 3 games under our belt?
Am I too loud?
No, pull the shirt down.
Pull the shirt down. Mic's too high.
You got it.
There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't know I was dressing up. Well, right now, I guess we would all be we're 2-0.
Okay.
We're both 7th grade team, 8th grade team, 2-0. We played Millbrook in week 1. They only have one team. And we did this last year, and it was really neat. We dressed out like all 125 kids. And the plan was for the 8th grade to win the ball game in the first half and let 7th grade play the second half. And that's pretty much how it worked out. I don't remember what the score was, but we had it under control.
Sure.
And excuse me. And then the next week we went down to Dothan on the Tuesday after Labor Day. We went down there and played on Tuesday night. 7th grade came out with a win. We came out with a win. So we were supposed to be in Phoenix City tonight, but
the projected weather.
Well, that and talking to Coach Lacey, Kevin Lacey, who is their 8th grade coach, and Coach Dial, who was their 7th grade coach, we were all fine on playing. And as about 8:30 this morning, we were still going.
Yeah.
And then at about 8:45, I get a screenshot from their administration that said, due to the safety of the players and the fans, and the fact that it was homecoming, we're going to have to reschedule this game. So, Coach Lacey and I have been talking. It looks like it's going to be maybe October the 15th.
Okay.
So, we're hoping to. And the kids, I'm going to tell you something about this group I have this year. And they were like, Coach, if we win, if we don't play Phoenix City and we go undefeated, I don't want an asterisk on the banner because we didn't beat Phoenix City.
Right.
Because that's just, I mean, everybody wants to beat Phoenix City.
Yeah.
I think we were probably, junior high, we were probably the last, well, no, Opelika beat them 3 years ago, but their 8th grade group, they lost the junior high football game in 3 years.
How about that? So
they're pretty good, and we played them close. We were 8-3 last year.
Yeah.
We held a 3-0 lead with 4 minutes left to go in the ball game, and then their running back finally broke loose and scored on a long run.
Well, their loss in not having a game tonight is our game because we get the old ball coach.
Well, okay, if you say so.
So, and briefly, maybe a couple, 3 minutes at the most.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about some of this year's Lions that were 8th grade cats for you in the past.
Just about all of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll be honest. When Gavin was quarterback in 8th grade, he was a quarterback in the 7th grade, but he didn't play a whole lot because they had KJ lined up and just snapped the ball to KJ and let him run.
Yeah, go get the touchdown.
And so, me being the brilliant coach that I am, like, I'm going to make Gavin a quarterback because y'all said I'm going to do it. And so Gavin and I, we talked. Man, he would come in early. His mom would bring him up there, and we would write stuff on the board, and we would do this, and we talk about coverages and all this. And I said, Gavin, if it's 3rd down, get the ball into KJ's hands. I don't care how you got to do it, but get it to KJ.
That's good coaching.
And so, hey, it worked out pretty good. And so then we just started coming up with different ways to get the ball to KJ. I mean, we would line him up, and a lot of like what coaches have been doing this year. We'd bring him in the backfield, we'd bring him back here on an option play, and then run him out and pitch him the ball. And it was great. We'd throw it to him on a screen pass. And so, but there's one thing that I'm most proud of, and that's got to be that offensive line. Those senior kids on that offensive line, because that has probably been the one thing that everybody would look at with that group and go, they ain't got no linemen. They don't have any linemen, and at the time they really didn't.
Right.
We had a bunch of little chubby, 8th grade, playful, ha-ha kids.
Yeah.
And to see how much they have grown and to watch them just get out. I mean, watching Moody now compared to watching Moody when he was in the 8th grade, it's like, it's a 180-degree difference.
Yeah.
He is a beast. So it's just fun to watch him.
That's so fun. One more thing I need to touch on, and then we got to look at one other thing. There was an award. I think it was a WSFA Class Act Award, maybe? Do you know anything about that?
I didn't. And if they show that clip on television, you'll see that I thought something was going on. I was trying to back up and get out of the way when they threw the doors open. But somebody's mom nominated me.
Yeah.
And anyway, they just said, hey, you've been doing this long enough, let's give you an award.
It's about time.
It was out. I mean, I was totally blown away. And it was great.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
So great. I appreciate
recognition where it was due.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for stopping by the show tonight, Coach. Right. Appreciate it. You can hang out with us if you want. But Coach, let's shift the focus. There's a ball game tomorrow at the home away from home. Walk us through tomorrow a little bit. We got Tuscaloosa County, the Wildcats. Let's talk about tomorrow and tomorrow night's game.
All right. Well, prayer breakfast will start our day. We'll be at First Baptist Church downtown Prattville tomorrow morning. We're always, grateful to be able to go down there. They take great care of us when we go for prayer breakfast, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But that's how we'll start our day. For me, that's an opportunity for me kind of to lay my eyes on my guys, because I can kind of tell that morning if they're ready to go or not.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, and Gavin being one of them. When I lay eyes on Gavin, I know when he's ready.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how my day starts. But we'll leave from there. There's going to be a pep rally that Miss Jennifer Smith has put together at the gym. It's going to be a great environment. It's going to be rocking and rolling there. So, I got to make sure our guys don't get too excited too soon.
Early,
yeah, because it'll wear
down. Got a whole day to get through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but the kids have a great time there. Our students, man, they get involved in it. It's a great event. So we'll have our pep rally there, and then we'll have our pregame meal later in that evening. And then we're going to bus on over to Wetumpka and kind of get things set up. And we're going to kind of go through our home game routine like we typically do. And, get ready to play a big region ball game.
That's right. And fans, let me just remind you, the jungle has just spread a little bit to the northeast. So it's not an away game. It's a home game. Just got to drive about 30 minutes to get there. No big deal. Tuscaloosa County tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking for on their offense? What do you see on tape?
Well, first thing I see, they have a 2-quarterback system. And, those guys serve a purpose, whatever, and they play well together. So you just never know what you're going to get because they're going to play 2 different quarterbacks. Their running back, he reminds me a lot of our running back, Landon Smith, where he's a guy that's going to hit a crease and he'll go with it. He's quick, he's strong, not the biggest back, but he is quick and strong. And so we got to know where he is. We got to be able to take care of him. They have a receiver that they've been very successful getting the ball to, number 11. Very talented young man. He's 6'2"-ish. He can go up and make the big play on the ball and things like that. So we got to know where he is and keep him corralled. They have 3 guys on the O-line. I'm going to tell you, I think they're probably the better 3 that we've seen all year.
How about that?
That could pose for a problem if you're not, ready to handle that up front. Defensively, their interior D linemen are some of the biggest guys we've seen all year. They don't get moved easy. So we got to find a way to create movement with those O-linemen Dunny was talking about earlier. We got to create that movement. Their secondary is just as good as any of the other secondaries we've seen this year. Talented, a lot of potential there. We got a couple things we can take advantage of, if things go our way. Linebacker-wise, they match up. They match up pretty good linebacker-wise. But I think their strength is D-line and that secondary. That's their strength. Special teams-wise, that's got to be something that we improve on. That's about Prattville. That's about us. We got to definitely improve there and be able to go out and win the special team battle. Like we talk about all the time, it's third of the game. And so we have to do our part there in order to get this win tomorrow night.
That's right. To the fans, what does it mean to have them there on any night, but homecoming night?
Well, I'm kind of spoiled now. We went to Oak Mountain, and I saw Prattville show up, and I saw Prattville take over that stadium. And I'm expecting nothing less to see them show up and take over our other stadium here in Wetumpka and be loud. I'm expecting the student section to be loud, and it's going to be a great environment. Like you said, it's Prattville East a little bit.
That's
so
right.
We'll take that. We'll take it, and I'm expecting the fans to show up, support the boys. The boys are going to go out and give you the best effort that they have. They've worked hard, and they want you to come out and see them play.
That's right. Well, fans, we're so glad that you've tuned in tonight. You've heard the call. We need to see you over in Wetumpka tomorrow night for our home away from home ball game. It's almost like our fan base turns every stadium into a home game, so they're all home games this year. We'll just keep on traveling.
Right on.
Well, fans, thanks for listening tonight. We're so glad that you tuned in on the radio on Dixie Country 100.1. Also, those of you watching us on the Prattville Live page through Facebook, we're so glad you've chosen to be a part of the show. We wish you good luck tomorrow night, Coach. God bless everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow.
JB Wallace Show has been powered by Larry Puckett Chevrolet.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Randy. We'll holler at you, I guess, around 6:30ish.
Yes, sir.